Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking this morning at a book from Oxford University Press, Shari'a in the West. It's this book here. It's edited by Ahdar and Nicholas Aroney. It's about 330 pages long altogether. It's very much in keeping with a standard text, obviously written text itself with footnotes at the bottom. It's a heavy work intellectually. There's an important index at the back, and there's also a detailed bibliography. And the importance of this book, in my view, cannot really be underestimated. We've got a copy of what we've written as a detailed review, which is on Flickr and the website, and it'll appear in various edited forms. But what we're saying is this. The book itself, we've given it the title Shari'a in the West ? We sincerely hope not, because obviously our way of life is different from that portrayed in this particular statement. The word Shari'a fills us, and I think many other people, with a form of glacial dread. And our disquiet about this vexed subject has not been much eased, either by the book itself or the fascinating subject matter it's covering. It's thought-provoking as a book, and very informative, and it contains 16 essays from a global collection of expert contributors, most of them academics. Almost half of them are from Australia and New Zealand, 3 are from America, 2 from Canada, and there is 1 lone Dutch parliamentarian. The 3 from the UK include Bishop Michael Azir-Ali, who's devoted himself full-time to defending Christian minorities. And as I've said before, it's an appropriate time for this book to appear, because the debate is out there in the open and we need to know what's going on. Perhaps a question of thought here. You might deduce from this and other evidence that Christian minorities in certain non-Christian countries have a harder time of it than Islamic and other religious minorities in Christian countries. Could that at least partly explain why there's been so much immigration by Muslims into the tolerant societies of the West rather than the other way round? An interesting point to bear in mind. The various maps of global Islam, which are in the book, illustrate our point, as does in part the excellent section on the West, which is the introductory chapter. As I've indicated, it's an important book for our time. It was published in 2010, and we're reminded that the book predates the Middle Eastern revolutions that have been taking place since February 2011. Obviously, the revolts, certainly in North Africa, have involved Muslim citizens in their hundreds of thousands, most clamouring for some form of secularism, free elections, free speech, amid the oft-repeated cry of freedom. I think the book has been published in response to the famous or infamous Foundation lecture by Rowan Williams, the Archbishop of Canterbury, where he stated that it seems unavoidable that certain aspects of Islamic law, Sharia, would be incorporated into British law. Now, it depends on your point of view here. There are certain judges who've made similar remarks, Lord Phillip's to be one, with some qualification. Obviously, there are people who will not agree with that. But the book itself, I think, sets out what the issues really are at the moment. The Archbishop's comments, it says on the dust jacket, provoke outrage amongst those who viewed any recognition of Sharia's laws in Britain with alarm. And of course that will feed extremist groups, there's no question about that. And there is alarm about this. The problem with the word Sharia, of course, which apparently occurs just once in the Quran, as well as the phrase Islamic law, is that each is subject to interpretation, or by extension misinterpretation, and that of course is why I think the book should be read for what it is. Clearly there's a confusion over the differences between the words Islam and Islamism, the latter being described as a political philosophy and programme, a belligerent ideology and a puritanical ideology. Well, you can slap labels on them and it doesn't really matter. The question is, what do you get as a result of that in practice? Is it like the wonderful ideals of communism, which actually lead to dictatorship, or is it the wonderful ideals of capitalism which can lead to massive inequality and poverty? I mean, you really have got to get the balance right. As I say, I think if you wish to be better informed about Shari'a, then this is definitely the book for you. Obviously there are some interesting points concerning the book, but do read it and draw your own conclusions on whether it is Shari'a for the West or not. I don't think it is personally, but I think this is a great contribution to the debate. So thank you to all concerned. Bye-bye.